Hi guys, this is Jojo from SC2 News, and today I'm talking to George Zhao. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I keep stumbling over the names, but we'll see. He's known as flamewheel on TeamLiquid.net. He was a Brood War writer, the lead writer for the MSL, power rank writer, and he describes himself as spamming the forums a lot. Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Jojo. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thanks for being here. Um, Okay, I have to admit right at the beginning I don't know a lot about the Brood War forums or the Dota forums, so I'll try to be as knowledgeable as possible. Um, but before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about your personal background. Where are you
Okay,
from?
so I currently live in North Carolina. I'm a second-year student at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and I'm majoring in business administration and mathematics. My parents are from China.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else on that?
Not really. Let's talk about a bit. Let's say sport. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I actually did not watch the Super Bowl. I had a lot of work to do that night, so I just watched the commercials and followed it on ESPN, but
Yeah.
didn't actually go to a TV and watch it.
All right. Yeah, same here actually. I'm in the UK at the moment, and we stayed up till really late at night to watch
Oh, wow.
the Super Bowl. But to be honest, just for the commercials. Um, yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you got to Team Liquid, like what you're doing there, and yeah, how you got to work there.
So I didn't find Team Liquid until late 2009 or something like that. I went to a boarding high school, and my roommate, who currently is also a writer at Team Liquid, visited Team Liquid almost 24/7. So after a while, I was just like, what do you see in this site? So I started going on there, and then I started posting, and now my life somehow a couple of years have passed.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
what is it exactly you're doing? I know you're writing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
well, at this point, since the MSL just currently the station broadcasting MSL currently shut down as of the beginning of this month, so I don't do writing there anymore. I may do writing for Dota in the future, but currently I'm just writing the power rank. And I don't know if you know about the power rank. There have been current emulations in StarCraft 2 for I think in the GSL, but it basically is a somewhat subjective, somewhat objective ranking of the top players that you can't just see by looking at their ELO or by current results.
Mm-hmm.
And that just comes out about once every month, since Brood War currently follows a round schedule, which is about 5 weeks. So I write it afterward. I'm supposed to be writing a new edition tonight.
Mm-hmm. And how is it made up if you say you can't really come to the ranking just from looking at the most current results? How is it made up?
So while results play a huge part in it, it's also subjective. It's saying, okay, well, I know player A won this game, but how did player B play? Did player A just get lucky, or did player B absolutely fail? That would drop him lower on the rank, even if he had done well in other games. It's following trends, who's hot, who's not, all that kind of stuff. There's still the data, of course. It's like, well, A beat B, so if it comes down to a head-to-head, I'd give the advantage to A. But a lot of the times, it's those little minutia that you can't really just look at the ELO and just because that only gives you a number.
Mm-hmm. And from looking at the post, this is part of the series Meet Your Digital Overlords, which focuses on TL.net staff. I saw in the post that there was a little bit of rivalry going on between the SC2 forum and the Dota and Brood War forum. Is that common between you guys?
I don't know if Dota's a new form and it's a new game, so I can't really address that yet. But there are certainly elements of rivalry between StarCraft 2 and Brood War. There's actually a lot of people if you read the automated ban list, there's a lot of people getting banned for cross-forum flaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, StarCraft 2 sucks, Brood War is the better game, or everyone should switch over to StarCraft 2, Brood War is a dead game, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. What's your personal opinion on that actually? A lot of people are expecting most of the Brood War players to switch over to StarCraft 2 with the release of Heart of the Swarm. Do you think that's an accurate description?
Um, I, I'm not too knowledgeable on the current pro gamer and Brood War scene. I'd have to ask one of the resident translators or something like that. But I I believe that StarCraft 2 is becoming a more balanced game, and so eventually it is newer, money's being pumped into it, people are going to migrate over there. The Brood War scene, though I love it, I do not think it has too long. Hopefully, though, I'll be able to follow it till the end.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that that was one of the reasons you said StarCraft 2 is becoming more and more balanced? Do you think that was the main reason for a lot of Brood War players not to switch because they thought the game is still evolving and not really balanced yet?
That's one of the reasons. Another reason I personally believe is that, well, there is still money in the Brood War scene, or there was. The MSL and OSL still paid quite out handsomely, and a lot of players have sponsored contracts with teams, just like they do in StarCraft 2 now, so they're still earning a steady salary. And there's no point in throwing it away just to go to StarCraft 2 where even if they've been practicing, they haven't been able to prove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well stick with what you have until you're forcibly removed, or the conditions become better to switch. One of the top Brood War players, Jaedong, says this. He says, as long as I see more in Brood War, I'm going to stay with Brood War.
Mm-hmm. I'm personally really looking forward to Jaedong switching to StarCraft 2, hopefully.
Are you a Zerg player?
No, I'm not actually. I'm a Protoss player, but Jaedong was one of the first players I watched in Brood War. He was one of the few people I knew back then, and one of the reasons I got really interested in StarCraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jaedong was actually one of the first people I watched as well. So
yeah. Do you think there's a big difference in the competitive play between Brood War and StarCraft 2? Is there a lot of different skill requirements in your opinion?
I believe actually the skills are majority transferable.
Mm-hmm.
While I can't say that switching from StarCraft 2 to Brood War would be as easy.
Yeah.
I still think Brood War is the harder game just because there's limited actions, 12 unit selection instead of unlimited 255. But if you look at a lot of the StarCraft 2 pros, like the MVP, Nesty, they were former Brood War pros. Like they weren't A-class. Well, MVP was, and 4GG now. But a lot of the skills have been able to directly transfer over. There's no substitute for micro and macro. So if you have that in Brood War, you'll have that in SE too. It just takes a while to get used to it.
Mm-hmm. And are you still following the Brood War scene? Like,
I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's as of late I've been a bit busier in real life, but I'm still managing to keep up with the majority of the games. And on those games that I'm not watching or haven't watched yet, I'm talking with other people about them. A lot of the Brood War current writers.
Mm-hmm. And StarCraft 2, you're not really following the scene yet, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I barely follow the games. Perhaps sometimes it's, if 4GG is playing games. Since I liked 4GG back in Brood War, I'll just stop by the live report thread to check. But otherwise, not really. There are too many tournaments, too many players, too many people rising and falling at one time for me to try to keep up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my next point. I was actually gonna say, with that much exposure of StarCraft 2, it's really hard not to follow. But I see it's also a reason that it's, I guess, kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be somewhat overwhelming. Before, when StarCraft 2 was just starting out, there was the GSL,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fine. And then MLG, okay, it's even with MLG's completely convoluted format, you can still follow that. But now there are just so many tournaments every day. If you look at the calendar, 2 years ago it was just Pro League,
Mm-hmm.
NSL, OSL. Now it's I don't even know anymore. Too many small cups and tournaments, and I'm sure they're all meaningful, but I just can't keep up with them.
Mm-hmm. And do you play yourself Brood War, StarCraft 2, or Dota?
I haven't played Brood War in quite some time now. I got a new laptop, so I have Brood War installed, but I haven't really played Brood War since I don't have the time to practice competitively. I've been playing a lot of Dota recently, though, as in I'm pretty sure Dota encompasses the majority of my time spent awake now, which is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite Dota-style game?
Dota-style game, it would definitely have to be Dota or Dota 2. I still prefer the original Dota since it has all the heroes implemented, but when all the heroes are ported to Dota 2, Dota 2 is very smooth.
Mm-hmm. So I will now ask questions that I really do not have any idea about. What's your favorite hero? Is it agility, strength, or intelligence?
So in general, I've been playing a lot of intelligence heroes lately. My favorite hero is Windrunner. in the Dota game, she is one of the most versatile heroes. As in, I would say she is the most versatile hero. She can fit whatever role you need her to fit. And I normally pick her in these pub games just because it's hard to determine what your teammates are going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it all if need be.
All right. And do you have a favorite item build?
Favorite item build for that hero?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Starting out, it depends on how you're playing Windrunner again.
Yeah.
The majority of the time I'll go Mechanism, which is a team-based item. It grants you a lot of bonuses to armor and HP regen, and then a burst heal, which is really useful in team fights. And then that into phase boots allows you to move faster and move through units, and then into larger items such as sheep stick, which allows you to disable someone by turning them into a pig. So I don't know why we call it sheep stick anymore.
All right. I'm sure that sounds all really, really great. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm sure it's helpful and interesting and understandable for everyone else.
You should take a look. You should take a look at the Dota streams. I guess Toby Wan's casting, and there are a lot of the Dota 2 pros coming over and streaming on Team Liquid now. So if you're ever bored, just stop by and look at it. A lot of them are really interactive, and we'll talk to you about the game.
Okay, can you recommend a stream for me?
Recommend a stream. I like watching Blitz's stream, Blitz Dota. He's just really funny. He may be a bit it may be a bit PG-13 at times, but I think we're all responsible adults at this point. But he's really interactive, and he'll talk about his item choices and builds and why he's doing something.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Dota was created as a mod for Warcraft 3 and is now its own genre of game. Sorry. Do you think with the current StarCraft 2 modding scene that there's the potential for something similar to happen again?
I think there is. I saw that someone was making a Dota clone, not a clone, I guess, but a Dota game in StarCraft 2. But just by looking at the custom maps and games section on Team Liquid, I'm amazed by the amount of stuff people can come up with. That's one thing StarCraft 2 definitely has going for it over Brood War. It's the amount of personalization you can put into the game is amazing. If I ever do pick up StarCraft 2, I might just play custom games like that.